Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, the Bama schedule prediction. We're going to go game by game and talk about their record. And this is their first year without Nick Saban. This is a time I've been looking forward to. And I think the whole SEC has. But they did hire a good coach in Kalen DeBoer, so let's get into this. Now, before we get started, we need to talk a little bit about the portal and all that. They've lost some really key guys off their team. They actually got one guy back, but they have lost some 5-stars. They lost a wide receiver to Texas. They lost Caleb Downs to Ohio State. They did get Proctor back, of course. They lost Trey Amos to Ole Miss. They did pick up an excellent center from Washington, a good solid 4-star, and he was very good at Washington. And DeBoer brought in some guys from his old school. So they're not as talented as they typically are, but they're still loaded for bear. It won't be a problem. They're not going to get outclassed out there. But losing Downs was a big loss. That guy was the best defensive back in the country. And losing their wide receiver to Texas, Isaiah Bond, also hurts them. But anyway, let's get into the schedule. All right, they start out with Western Kentucky Hilltoppers at Bryant-Denny, so that's just a little warm-up game, no problem. 1-0. USF Bulls, no, that's not even going to be much of a contest. Well, I take that back. Our former offensive coordinator's there, I believe, so they'll try. Didn't they give them a good game a while back? I believe they did. So anyway, they'll win the game, though. That's 2-0. At Wisconsin at noon. Only Alabama could wind up going on the road and getting a noon kickoff. That's so fortunate for them. They'll beat up on Wisconsin anyway, but that kind of messes up Wisconsin's chances of getting prepared to play Alabama.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you? Sucking back on Grandpa's old cough medicine?
No. Oh, no, sir. No.
It's not going to happen at noon. Yeah, they won't have time for any Grandpa's cough medicine. All right, here's the first big-time game. Georgia Bulldogs coming to Bryant-Denny. Woo! Get you some of that. That's going to be a heck of a ball game. 7:30 on ABC. Game of the week. Woo, man, it's going to be rough. I can't wait for this ball game. This almost has a little bit of a playoff feel to it. And it is nice that whoever doesn't win this game won't be automatically kicked out of the playoff, which would happen typically. So, should be a super exciting ball game, and I know they're going to be fired up at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Oh, man.
I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, baby.
Don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide.
I love America, and I love the Tide, baby. And I love Will to death.
Yeah, right.
Don't give a piss about piss but the Tide.
Tide, go get them. Tide, go take them down.
All right, then they go to Vanderbilt for an easy one. You're going to lose that game against Georgia, by the way.
How dare you?
So that's going to make you 3-1. You might beat them, but I doubt it. Then you'll win the Vanderbilt game. That'll make you 4-1, but you're not out of the playoff by any stretch. You'd have to lose some games. South Carolina at Bryant-Denny Stadium. South Carolina's got their new quarterback, Sellers. That's not going to be pretty. You'll be 5-1 after that. Now you got to go to Neyland. Oh, boy. All right, folks, Tennessee versus Alabama. You'll notice I'm wearing a different shirt right now. I was very torn on what to predict here, whether Alabama might beat Tennessee at Neyland, which would be tough, or whether or not Tennessee would hold their serve since they did win 2 years ago. And I was so torn that I actually continued the video with the possibility of Alabama beating us at Neyland. And it bothered me so much. And even though I had uploaded it, I didn't launch the video because the more I thought about it, a brand new coach at Alabama, brand new offensive and defensive coordinators. Tennessee's got Nico Iamaleava. We saw him in his very first game score 4 touchdowns. And I remember what Tennessee's offense was when you've got the right quarterback with touch and can run and do all the things that Nico can do, very similar to Hendon Hooker.
Hi, maybe.
And how good the offense is when it's running that way. And then I thought, Neyland. So instead of going with Alabama on this, I have no choice. I've got to pick the Vols to win this ball game. And for the Vols fans, the fact I even did a video with Alabama winning this game, I don't know what to tell you.
Apologize.
All right, I apologize.
You're really sorry.
I'm really, really sorry. I apologize unreservedly.
You take it back.
I do. I offer a complete and utter retraction.
Yeah, I had to apologize. But I didn't put the video out. I almost did, but I just couldn't do it. There's just too many factors in Tennessee's favor. And then on top of it, I know for sure it's not going to be a noon game. It's either going to be a 3:30 or a 7 o'clock game. It's in the flex time. And the later that game is, the more excited many of our younger Tennessee Vols fans will be.
Toga, 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 toga.
Yeah, they're going to be fired up. So I'm giving Tennessee this victory. So now you're 5-2. Okay, now you've got Missouri Tigers coming in with Brady Cook and the boys, and they're going to play at Bryant-Denny. I like your chances in this game. I think you'll handle them. They're not going to be easy. You cannot even think about looking past them, and this will be another flex time. But they're going to give you all you want, and you'll pull out a victory here and go 6-2, which is solid, but, man, you better not look past Missouri.
Message.
All right, folks, then you get a week off, which you're going to need, and you're going to have to play LSU at Baton Rouge, which is very difficult. And again, I've already checked the times. It will not be a noon game. It's going to be either 3:30 or 7. So that's pretty tricky. LSU is tough. You've got a couple of games remaining that are going to be very difficult. I'm going to have you winning this ball game, but man, oh man, you could lose it so easily. If you lose this game and you've already lost 2, you'll be out of the playoff. So you've got to win this game. I'm going to give you the W here, but it's 55-45 at best. All right, then you get Mercer Bears. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you win that ball game by probably 30 to 40 points. So there's your little vacation.
You're welcome.
But don't worry, it's fixing to get worse. You're getting ready to go to Oklahoma. And Oklahoma's going to be pretty tough at home. You can just count on that. And they got their new 5-star quarterback and a solid defense. That's another one that you'd better hope it's not 7 o'clock. You'd be a lot better off at 3:30. But, oh, man, I'm going to somehow give you a W here. This is another 55-45. You have a very tough schedule, by the way, Alabama. Having Georgia in there, which you usually don't have, and you've got 4 very difficult games, including Tennessee, Missouri, LSU, and Oklahoma, you could easily miss this playoff. But I'm going to give you this win, maybe because of your name and because of your past. And part of it is you've still got plenty of talent on that team. And Kalen DeBoer's won everywhere he's been. I think he's going to get you in the playoff. I do. So you got the W there. You still got the Auburn Tigers. And even though it's at home, we all know it's the Iron Bowl. And that's 2 brothers going at it. And that's the little brother of Alabama. And they're angry. They're very angry about last year where they somehow blew a huge lead. They had you beat. And then they rushed 2 guys on that last play with the 35-yard line. Who rushes 2 guys? You got to be crazy. So anyway, man, if it was at Auburn, I couldn't give you this W, but I'm going to give you the W, and you'll make the playoff at 10-2. But man, you've got a gauntlet after that Tennessee ball game, and I've got you down with 2 losses, and you could easily have 3, maybe even. God, can you imagine going 8-4? Woo, boy, DeBoer would be under some pressure then. Anyway, that's what I've got for you. 10-2, you make the playoff, and then we'll see what happens. And we'll also see what happens with Jalen Milroe. There's at least probably 60% chance, maybe 70 or 80% chance he makes it through the year as your starting quarterback without being replaced. But if you lose 2 or 3 ball games, DeBoer will probably put his guy in. That's just my guess because he likes a guy that throws first, runs second, or doesn't run at all. And we all know that Jalen Milroe is a fine runner, but his passing skills aren't quite there. And that's Alabama's prediction, 10-2. I got you in the playoff. Don't be coming in here into the comment section giving me grief. You ought to be happy with that. You lost your guy. You lost Nick Saban, who was the GOAT. If you make the playoff, then you should be pretty happy with DeBoer. And if you like this content, be sure to hit this like button. Let's continue to cover all these sports stories. If you've not subscribed, hit this little button right here. I would certainly appreciate it. And right over here is the most recent video YouTube thinks you'll enjoy based on your viewing history. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.